Hello everybody, welcome to the Cave Boys.
Hello.
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 Welcome back to the cave. Ooh, I've done jazz hands again.
Him and his jazzy hands.
We're going to be talking about a very, very serious topic, boys and girls.
Very, very serious.
We're going to be talking about the Zelda timeline.
Not the Zelda timeline.
My favourite topic.
No. Okay, interesting. All right.
Right, does it really matter?
Does the Zelda timeline matter? Oh, great. This has been the easiest video we've done all week. No, it doesn't. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys.
Like, subscribe. See you guys later.
Eddie, I mean, you want to bring the timeline up. You better have some sort of explanation. Why should the timeline matter? Adam, would you like to tell us what's important about the timeline? Because we don't have technical issues over here.
Yeah, so, the Zelda timeline. Does it matter? I think there is a yes and a no to this. For me personally, I think no. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure some people might be a little bit shocked to hear that, especially from a channel that focuses in Zelda lore and theory. You typically always expect them to be like, yeah, timeline, very, very important. But I think I'm actually in the minority there. I'm not actually that big a fan of the timeline personally. I don't think it matters all that much. I think it's good to have. I think it's a nice little bit of fan service, but I don't really think it's that important. And the proof for that is the fact that Nintendo don't really either, considering it's not really thought about until after the game. It's not a priority to them. It shouldn't be a priority to us. That's my complete argument.
A very unexpectedly based take from Adam there. Right, boys, let me know if you think I'm wrong on this, but I would hypothesize that if AdSense didn't exist, neither would 90% of timeline talk. Is that a bit of a hot take, maybe?
I think it might just be.
What I mean by that is, if Zelda YouTubers didn't need more ideas at times, I don't think there would have been half as many, if not more, videos about the timeline. And I have to admit, and I'm not naming any names now, but whenever I see a Zelda timeline updated, brand new timeline video coming out from a Zelda, every time I see a brand new Zelda timeline video, I always see it and I think, here we go again.
It's way too oversaturated.
And then there's the fan timeline, and then obviously there is the Nintendo official timeline as well. Now, though I commend and to some degree respect the Zelda community for trying to weave, a grand tapestry out of a collection of, disparate handkerchiefs. I think eventually you just have to sort of pat them on the shoulder and sort of say, it's okay to put the toys down now.
You've got to get out of the pub now. You've had too many drinks.
To draw a timeline, you have to be able to draw parallels or some kind of... You have to identify some sort of continuity between the games. And to do that, you need a deep knowledge of each game. And you need to look at the metaphysics and how they all play together and how... So that side, I respect.
When it comes to my opinion on the timeline, I think it's weird because when it comes to the whole AdSense thing, I think when you look back before Skyward Sword as an example, and there were more forums around for timeline discussion and stuff like that, there's a case to be made that the timeline back then was more of a thing because it wasn't officially stated. So a lot of people wanted to create a timeline. Whereas when they actually came out...
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting... Like I say, because that takes knowledge of each game. It takes a little creativity. It takes a little bit of, weaving. I respect... That's the bit I respect, yeah.
Yeah, because I think people that now make their own timeline, I think that's cool. I think...
Yeah, it's very cool.
Fair play to you. You've done probably a really good job. When it comes to the greater Nintendo Zelda timeline, does that really matter? Not really.
The only way they could make the timeline matter is with an excessive amount of retconning.
Exactly.
Which they're definitely not going to do. Or, when was it that Nintendo first acknowledged or released that timeline? When was that Hyrule Historia?
The one that included Skyward Sword, yeah.
Yeah, 2012 or 2011.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of Zelda, that's fairly recent. The only way that they could maybe make a timeline matter moving forward is if they begun weaving one now. Maybe from now on they will start weaving consistencies and continuity between each game from now on, knowing, because back then they didn't know that fans cared about the timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that obviously their timeline came as a reaction to so much talk about it on ZeldaTube. among other places, the forums and whatnot.
Yeah.
So maybe with, because I think I have hypothesized this in one of my previous videos, but maybe Breath of the Wild has started a new timeline and we just don't know it yet.
Yeah, very possible.
I think the interesting thing when it comes to talking about the timeline nowadays as well is that Skyward Sword felt like a very obvious plea to be like, look, here's a timeline. And then now it kind of seems like they really don't care. Breath of the Wild's at the end. Echoes of Wisdom is somewhere after Ocarina of Time. It's really strange. Where I remember when Echoes of Wisdom first came out and, timeline theories about, like, where it could be started appearing all over the place. I genuinely thought it'd be like next to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and it would be like, oh, look, this is like a new timeline. This is awesome. No, it's just after Ocarina of Time somewhere.
I think of the Zelda franchise, in a similar way to I view the Final Fantasy franchise. Final Fantasy is much more overt about it. Like, I just see each game as its own, individual story. I mean, obviously, other than, like, Spirit Tracks, there are a couple that do, intentionally overlap with other games, but generally I see each game as I see every link as a different link, every game, every story is a different story, every world is a different a completely different world, and that's just how I've always viewed it. Have you boys sort of looked at it a similar way, or
they're all legends? That's kind of how I see it. They're all different tales, different legends.
He said the word.
Exactly. I think to me that makes up inconsistencies and things not lining up in the timeline, especially when people get really anal about inconsistencies with the timeline.
Anal?
All of these games are legends. They're stories being told, and that's the thing. Legends change from each passing. Every time someone tells a story to another over hundreds of thousands of years, which this timeline clearly spans over apparently, legends change when people tell stories to the next person. All these games to me are just legends. They're gonna change a little.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That is a really great point. I've never... that was staring me in the face the whole time, and I never thought about it. It's literally in the title.
Exactly, yeah, it's in
and I
the
love
title.
That is a very good way of excusing inconsistencies. Yeah, I like it.
It's a really hard thing when creating theories, especially when you want to link back stuff, other games. It's really hard to actually try and find consistency sometimes. When someone does find, like, a really compelling theory, think like... that one Zeltic Forgotten Temple video from years ago, that one theory.
That's a great theory.
Everyone loves it. And it's because of that one tree. That's the thing that does it. It's the thing that, like, that might be the sealed temple because the Forgotten Temple has the tree. You need to find that one thing that makes theories compelling. But it means that the Zelda timeline not mattering almost isn't... It can't be understood by anyone, including any theorists like us, because you just need to find something that you can link stuff to. The most compelling theories link back to other games.
That goes back to my original point that it's like, if you want to be able to connect two games, you have to have a very deep understanding of both. That's where my respect comes from.
The timeline's such a weird debate because you do have people that will swear by the timeline, or they'll swear by their own timeline. And if you swear by your own timeline, fair enough to you, because you've done the work. Fair play. It's even better if you're making theories built on top of your timeline. It's just that, especially when creating videos on, theories and stuff like that, it's really hard to harken back to, say, your own timeline, because no one else knows your own timeline. They know the Nintendo timeline.
I was going to say, that's something that really boils my beans, boys. When people make their own timelines, or just their own theories, headcanons, if you will, even. Yeah. And then you present a case based on factual stuff, and they tell you it's wrong because it goes against their theory. And it's like, none of this is fact. Let's just get that straight.
It's all made up.
Yeah. It just annoys me. It's just one of those small things.
Oh, I'll tell you a theory that got my penis flowing.
Your Jimmy's jangling, go on.
The whole theory was that Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom was going to be Ganondorf from Twilight Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that was pretty sick, actually.
That one went so hard because it was the way that people were, like, trying to line up all his jewellery on his head.
Yeah, and, like, the scar on his chest and the jewellery, There was a lot of, like, Return of the King theories at that time. It was so good. Personally,
just coming on to the general idea of theories, I think the best theories are usually on the smallest stuff. Like the mystery of this island, the mystery of this armor. It's cool.
The insignificant things you never thought about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, we got slightly off off topic there, but I think we just about covered why the Zelda timeline does or maybe doesn't matter. What do you think about the timeline? We don't care. Shut up. I'm just joking. Comment down below. What do you think about the timeline? Does it matter? Is it important? And what do you think about the various connections between the games? Is the one that you find particularly compelling? Like I say, let us know down below, and we'll see you in the next cave video. Say goodbye, boys.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
It was lovely to see you
lovely.
for most of the time. See you. Goodbye.